Today we will discuss about the cytoplasmic organelles that are mitochondria, ribosomes and plastids. After completing this lecture, you will be able to know about the structure and function of mitochondria, ribosomes as well as about the types of plastid. So let's discuss one by one. The first organelle is mitochondria. If we talk about the mitochondria, so it is basically a membrane bounded organelle present in the cytoplasm of all eukaryotic cells. Eukaryotic cells are those cells having a proper true nucleus. It is thought that in prokaryotes, mitochondria are absent because the energy required is produced in the cytoplasm by anaerobic respiration or by mesosomes. Anaerobic respiration means the respiration which occurs in the absence of oxygen. If we talk about the location of mitochondria, so mitochondria is found in the cytoplasm and function as the cell's digestive system. If we talk about the structure of mitochondria, so mitochondrial structure show that it is a double membrane rod-shaped structure found in both plant and animal cells. If we talk about the size, so its size range from 0.5 to 0.1 micrometer in diameter. The structure basically consists of the outer membrane, inner membrane and gel-like material which is called matrix. The outer membrane is basically cover the surface of mitochondria. The outer membrane is smooth and it basically covers the whole surface of the mitochondria. The inner membrane of mitochondria is folded inward that form a layered structure called cristae. Cristae basically help in increasing the surface area inside the organelle. If we talk about the mitochondrial matrix, so it is basically a viscous fluid that contains mixture of enzymes and proteins. It also contains DNA because mitochondria has its own DNA and ribosomes. If we talk about the function of mitochondria, so the most important function of mitochondria is basically they are considered as the powerhouse of the cell because they carry out the process of respiration and produce energy in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. The second function is that it regulates metabolic activity of the cell. It also promotes the growth of the new cells and cell multiplication. They also help in detoxifying ammonia in liver cells. The next organelle is ribosomes. Ribosomes are basically tiny granules. Ribosomes are not bounded by a membrane, so they are also found in prokaryotes. If we talk about the location of ribosomes, so they are found in nucleolus and are either freely dispersed in the cytoplasm or attached with the rough endoplasmic reticulum. If we talk about the structure of ribosomes, so they are made up of 60% RNA and 40% proteins. They consist of two pieces which is called subunits. These subunits come together and synthesize proteins. Eukaryotic ribosomes are basically slightly larger than the prokaryotic ribosomes. Ribosomes are basically responsible for protein synthesis. The next organelle is basically the plastids. Plastid is basically a membrane-bound organelle which contain one or more pigments. Plastids are present only in the cells of plants and photosynthetic protists. Photosynthetic protists are those protists which perform the process of photosynthesis, like for example euglena. If we talk about the types, so plastid is further divided into three types. The first one is chloroplast, the second one is chromoplast, and the third one is leucoplast. So let's discuss one by one. The first one is chloroplast. Chloroplast is basically found in plant cells. They are only found in green parts of the plant, especially leaves. Chloroplast contain green pigment which is called chlorophyll. If we talk about the structure of chloroplast, so the chloroplast consists of the outer membrane. The outer membrane is basically made up of phospholipid bilayer which is permeable to certain substances. They also contain protein which form passage for molecules. The second one is intermembrane space. This is basically the region between outer and inner membrane. The space contains transport protein that facilitates the movement of molecule across the membrane. The inner membrane consists of phospholipid but less permeable than the outer membrane. Less permeable mean that they has lower ability to allow substances to pass through it. If we talk about the stroma, so stroma is a fluid filled region inside the chloroplast. The stroma contain enzymes and pigments. Here different metabolic processes take place. The next part is thylakoid. They are basically flattened sacs which are embedded in the stroma. It contains photosynthetic pigments such as chlorophyll. This thylakoid basically absorb light energy. The next is granum. Granum is basically the stalk of thylakoid. It is the site of photosynthesis. Now the next type of the plastid is chromoplast. Chromoplast is basically a colored plastid. They are found in fruits, flowers, roots and aging leaves. They are found in carrot, tomato, sweet potatoes and many colorful flowers. The third type of plastid is leucoplast. Leucoplast is basically a colorless plastid. They are non-pigmented. They store material like lipid, carbohydrates and proteins. They are found in potato tuber, roots of plants and seeds, and potato tuber they store starch. So this was all about today's class. Thank you.